Okay, we're back, and today we have David Gilmour album review for David Gilmour. It's 9 songs, about 46 minutes. It's Columbia Records or CBS, produced by David Gilmour, and on the cover you've got David Gilmour and then the bass player Rick Wills and Willie Wilson on drums. Album cover by Hypnosis, and this is David right here, and the two guys are in the background. They're kind of smaller, but you can see it's snowing out. This is David and his band from Joker's Wild, which was the band he was in previous to Pink Floyd. And for this album, these two guys are hired help. And on the back cover, you've got a picture of David, and you got the names of the tracks, the 9 tracks here, and the length of the tracks. And then on the inside, you got some pictures of David and the band, and like swimming and doing stuff. All songs written by David Gilmour except Cry from the Street by David Gilmour and East Stewart, Short and Sweet by David Gilmour and Roy Harper, and then There's No Way Out of Here by Ken Baker. That's all in here. And this is I've had this for a long time. This is an original Columbia. You can see what the disc looks like. It's one of these old 90s, 80s deals. And I've had this for a long time. Going back to my original Pink Floyd stages from like 95, 96. And what I can say about that is, and I'm sure sometimes you guys realize this, if it's a newer album to me, my opinions aren't all the way fully formed or shaped. But in this case, it is. I've had this for so long, and I've listened to it a lot. Sounds like art rock, prog rock, blues rock. That's how it's categorized on the internets. It certainly has Gilmour's stamp on it, even the songs he didn't write. And, David is a mildly controversial character. I won't get into that too much here, but for the most part, he is well-liked and well-received. His playing and singing is catchy, and his tunes are more pop-oriented, but they have a hard rock and prog bite to them. And this album is a good representation of what he's all about, honestly, in my honest opinion. If you ask me for a recommended sample of Gilmour music, I would just hand this to you and say, listen to this. Because this represents David Gilmour well and what he stands for and what his music is all about. And I don't know if I have anything else to add to that. He's my kind of musician that I like. Track 1 is called Mihalis, which I think is Greek, named after David's boat, I believe. I think I read that one somewhere. Written by David Gilmour. 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Mihalis is an instrumental. This song is written in standard 4-bar phrases of 16 bars. Da da. And it has this ringing echo effect on it. It feels like there are more notes going on than you actually can hear or what are actually being played. And that's because of the whatever studio effect they're putting on it. Da, da, t, 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 t. Okay, so I've separated the track into 4 parts. Part 1 is the introduction. It's 44 bars. It's that whole... And then part 2 starts at 1 minute and 34 seconds. And it has the whole... which is the lead guitar part that David plays over the top of it. Part 2 goes on for 36 bars. And it ends at 2 minutes and 46 seconds, which is when part 3 starts. At 2 minutes and 46 seconds, there's a big power chord, like a dun, and that goes for 36 bars, but there's also a new big lead guitar solo on top of it. And that runs for a few minutes, and then the last part of the song, I'll call part 4, is this long outro. And that starts around the 4-minute mark. So part 3 is about 1.5 minutes. And then at the 4-minute mark, the outro or chorus, whatever you want to call it, starts. The guitar solo continues, but the tempo really slows down a bit. And there's less ruckus in the background, less drums, less bass, less everything, and it's more focused on the slower tempo and the guitar playing that's being played, the lead part. And part 4 is, it's a long coda, it's 44 bars, and then it fades out at the end. And that's Mihalis. It's in the key of C major. It starts there, and then it changes to A flat and B flat, or I guess G sharp and D sharp, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's 115 beats per minute in 4/4 time, and it's really the perfect start to an album. At times, the drum beat has this 90s Neil Peart thing going on. That whole, that Neil does a lot. And the bass plays cleverly behind or underneath David's rhythm guitar. At 1:36, the song changes gears and David starts to play his bear line. And at 2:49, the song gets heavier with the crashing electric guitar and then the solo. And the song winds down right around 4:02, or the 4-minute mark. And that's Mihalis. Track 2 is called There's No Way Out of Here. Backing vocals by Carlina Williams, Debbie Doss, and Shirley Roden. Written by Ken Baker. It's 5 minutes and 8 seconds. This song has 1,700 jams on Chordify. For this album, I used Chordify.net to look at the music stuff. But so people have really picked over the chords and keys, and I found out a lot of the songs are like that. People have really gotten into this album. What you get in this song is David's perfect singing voice with few effects put on it. He's up front, his voice is up front and center in the mix. And also what's notable, I heard this song once on the radio, like back in the mid-90s. So it did get some airplay as like a single. This is an AABA song. Verse, bridge, verse, solo, outro. So it's very pop structured, formulaic, I guess is the right word. As you know, a lot of David Gilmour's songs are very formulaic. All, right up until this last album, Luck and Strange. There's No Way Out of Here is in the key of G major or E minor. Sounds like a lot of E minor chords. There's only 3 chords in the song when you add in the D major. It's 130 beats per minute, and it's in 4/4 time. And at the beginning, there's an uncredited harmonica introduction. I think it's David playing harmonica, like on, how on Pink Floyd at Pompeii, during the Seamus Lake song called Mademoiselle Knobs, he's playing the harmonica. So I'm just going to guess it's David, although it's not credited. The verse, he sings, "There's no way out of here. When you come in, you're in for good." It's 12 bars. And with the throw-in beats to mix you up in the counting, there's like, he like adds a couple, like there's a 5/4 or a 6/4 bar in there. And then plus there's 3 bars of transition at the end. The bridge is the part of the song where David sings, "And never was, there was an answer, there was an answer." That goes on for 16 bars with a couple of those additional throw-in beats to mix you up, to make it more proggy. The solo runs from 3 minutes and 39 seconds to 4:08, and it's a 16-bar solo. And, all of David Gilmour's guitar solos, they all kick ass, really. The outro goes to 4 minutes and 8 seconds until the end of the song, and it's the girl singing "There's No Way Out of Here." You can't hear, at least I can't hear David's voice in it, but that's pretty much what the outro is. The girls, and that's the song. The Unicorn version, which is where Ken Baker wrote it for and recorded it, it's I've listened to it. It's fairly light and unemotional, and I'll leave you guys the link. You can, if you've never listened to it before, it's worth a listen. But what David did was he was true to the original version by Unicorn, but he added some depth and power, and he cranks it up a few notches. So I like, of course, I like the David version better, but I've also heard it first, and I think that has a huge influence. But I think you'll agree with me, it just sounds more powerful and better. Track 3 is called Cry from the Street. It's written by David Gilmour and E. Stewart. It's 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. That's the song, okay? It's an intro, verse, a solo, and an outro. That's the song structure, and it's in the key of A major. It's 70 beats per minute in 4/4 time. It has the coolest intro. It does that whole... It does that for 1 minute and 26 seconds. And then the verse is black shadows dance beyond the neon glow. There's rumors in your head that just won't let go. Then and that David's voice isn't clean. There's like some studio effects on it, so it's not his. It's not the. It doesn't sound the same as There's no way out of here. Then the end of every verse has the refrain, short cry from the street. And when you put the verse and the refrain together it's 20 bars. So it's 16 bars of the verse, and then that refrain is 4 bars. I guess, for lack of a better word, I'll just call it a refrain. But it's a 20-bar verse. And like I said, there's some kind of echo or on David's voice or a reverb. I don't know what you'd call it, but there's an effect. And then there's a solo that runs from 3 minutes and 21 seconds to 4 minutes and 22 seconds. It's 36 bars, or about 1 minute and 1 second long. And then the outro is the whole da-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, about 51 seconds, and then it fades out. And that's Cry from the Street. Track 4 is called So Far Away. Backing vocals by Carlina Williams, Debbie Doss, and Shirley Roden. Piano by Mick Weaver. Written by David Gilmour. It's 6 minutes and 5 seconds. This is a ballad featuring the piano by Weaver and Gilmour's voice. The effect on the voice makes David sound further away from the microphone. The way he uses the background girls is something he uses to perfection on other albums. Like when they sing "ah" during the bridge. It's an effect that gets used a lot on The Division Bell, Momentary Lapse of Reason. No doubt borrowed from Shine On You Crazy Diamond and songs like that, where they also did the same thing. This is another AABA song, literally. Intro, verse, bridge, solo 1, solo 2, a final verse, and then a final bridge, and then an outro. It's in the key of C major. It's 59 beats, so a slow tempo in 4/4 time. The verse is, why am I suspended here? Should I kill myself that I have no fear? It's 20 bars. And he's just kind of going along singing it. The bridge is the part of the song where he's, and I'm cut with my own knife. Is this a dream or is it a real life? The bridge is my favorite part of the song. It's 16 bars, and it's, again, 4 bars of like music to transition you to the next verse or whatever. There's 2 solos. The first solo runs from 2 minutes and 14 seconds to 2 minutes and 54 seconds. It's 20 bars of guitar playing over the piano and the other stuff going on. And then the second solo runs from 2 minutes and 54 seconds to 3 minutes and about 28 seconds-ish. It's about 16 bars. And it does sound like 2 distinct solos. Like he recorded one solo that's real clear and clean, and then the second one is it's a different style. So that's So Far Away. Track 5 is short and sweet. It's written by David Gilmour and Roy Harper. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It's a very simple song arrangement. It's intro, verse, verse. And there's a solo in there. There's a key, it's in the key of D major, 130 beats per minute and 4/4. And the intro is David on guitar, and the intro runs to about 1 minute and 14 seconds. So a long, it does that kind of thing. And then it picks up into the main melody of the song. The verse, you ask, what is the quality of life? Seeking to justify the part you play. And then the verse is 19 bars, and the bass really jumps into the fray during the second verse. It does this ba-dum bump, ba-da-dum bump, da-dum dum. It's like a big thumping bass. And that's pretty much how every verse is, really. He just keeps singing different lyrics over the 5 verses. The solo, I'm not sure where it starts, I missed it, but it ends at the 3 minute 56 second mark. It's not really a David Gilmour solo, but more like some guitar jamming gymnastics for about 20 bars. And it serves more as a instrumental bridge more than anything else to break up the verses. So I wouldn't even necessarily call it a solo, but a solo-ish part. Short and sweet. Not a short song at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and one of the better songs on the album. And I think was if it wasn't a single, it probably should have been a single. But also, what's note, and I forgot to put it in my notes, but it just popped into my brain. Roy Harper did his own version of the song and included it in his album. Track 6 is called "Raise My Rent." It's written by David Gilmour. It's 5 minutes and 33 seconds. It's an instrumental. This song will resurrect on the Division Bell with new lyrics, new bass line, and a new bridge. That doesn't mean that this song is a demo. Raise My Rent, not at all. More like it's a typical David Gilmour instrumental that can conveniently be rewritten into a new song. Had me fooled for years, by the way. I don't remember when I actually figured it out, but it was like a big light bulb going off in my head moment. Like, oh, Raise My Rent is, what do you want from me? Okay, it's in the key of E minor. It's 103 beats per minute in 4/4 time. But part 1, I like breaking up instrumentals into parts because, just like any other song, it has conventional beginnings and endings and different parts. So part 1 runs from the beginning of the song to right up to the 59-second mark. It's 24 bars of light instrumental intro with arpeggiated picking on electric guitar. And then part 2 runs from 59 seconds to 2 minutes and 6 seconds. It's about 28 bars. This is the lead guitar part, the whole... It's very, very close to what you hear on What Do You Want From Me. Part 3 runs from 2 minutes and 6 seconds to 3 minutes and 39 seconds. This is 40 bars of more guitar solo, newer solo. And then the final part of the song is part 4. It runs from 3 minutes and 39 seconds to the end. It's the coda. It starts over again, but it's like the beginning of the song, but harder. It's like it comes out. It's a stronger section, and it's 48 bars with a fade out, and that's "Raise My Rent." Cool tune, really. Track 7 is "No Way," written by David Gilmour, 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Interesting that there's a song called "There's No Way Out of Here" and "No Way" on the same album, but that's what happened. And this "No Way" could easily be my low-rage cage MMA music. It's very country, but it's also kind of it's country sounding, but almost like it would be a good motorcycle song. It's a verse guitar solo jam, verse outro. That's the song structure, and it's in the key of D minor. It's 77 beats per minute in 4/4 time. The intro guitars that sound like a haunting country blues type song. It's 16 bars, and the verse is, "There's no way I'm gonna let go. There's no way because it's my show." And then it's a it's a guitar solo from the first guitar solo. There's 2 of them. It runs from 1 minute 54 seconds to 2 minutes and 44 seconds. It sounds like David Gilmour on a lap steel for about 16 bars. And then the second guitar solo, it's actually more like a jam than a true guitar solo, but that runs from 2 minutes and 44 seconds to 3 minutes and 9 seconds for about 8 bars. And again, David likes to, what I've noticed over the years is he likes to break up his solos. And not on this album, but on other albums, you'll hear him play like part of the solo is in acoustic and then the second part is in electric. Well, on this one, he's playing lap steel, and then he's going back to probably electric guitar is what I think it is. The outro is more of the lap steel guitar for about 20 seconds or so. And that's track 7, "No Way," which it should be my cage music, really, for MMA. Okay, track 8 is called "Definitely," another David Gilmour song, 4 minutes and 37 seconds. It's another instrumental, and one of the more boring ones for David. What is happening here in "Definitely" is this song is more like the kind of effects you hear on "One of These Days." It's not that it's like a rewrite of the song, but that's what I think about. It kind of has a galloping beat to it, and it's got a more psychedelic feel to it. Lots of squealing on what I'm guessing is his lap steel again. Not sure, but that's my best guess. He could be just playing slide guitar or something, but it's in the key of E. The song has E majors and F sharp fives in it, so fifths, F sharp fifth, so just like a power chord. It's 143 beats per minute and 4/4 time. Part 1, this song has 8 parts. It's really structured. So the first part is 16 seconds. It's an 8-bar introduction. The second part runs from 17 seconds to 44 seconds. It's 16 bars. It sounds like higher octave lap steel. The third part of the song runs from 44 seconds to a minute and 12. And it's 16 bars of what I would call lower register, lower octave lap steel. Part 4 runs from 1 minute and 12 seconds to a minute and 39 seconds. It's 16 bars combination of both the lower and the higher playing the same thing, but at the same time. So like he double tracked it or something, or played them separately and then mixed them together. Part 5 runs from a minute and 39 seconds to 2 minutes and 34 seconds. It's more of a traditional lead guitar led part of the song, and it's 32 bars. Part 6 runs from 2 minutes and 34 seconds to 3 minutes and 1 second. It's 16 bars again, back to the lower register. So almost like back to the more beginning of the song. Part 7 runs from 3 minutes and 1 second to 3 minutes and 29 seconds. 16 bars back to the combined lap steels, like the higher and the lower. So like he's pulling that back into it. And then part 8 is 3 minutes and 29 seconds to the 4-minute mark. This sounds like David jamming or playing with a synthesizer. It's doing that kind of a thing. I'm not sure if it's a guitar or a synth, but it sounds really 70s-ish, okay? That lasts about 30 seconds, is some squealing, and I'm not, and then that's pretty much the end of the song. The whole song is in 16 bars or 32 bars, but like part 5. Part 5 is the 32 bar part. It's like a double. It's like 2 16 bars. You know what I mean? That's definitely way too much analysis for what is not my favorite song on the album. Part 9 is I Can't Breathe Anymore. It's the final track on the album. It's a David Gilmour song, and it's 3 minutes and 5 seconds. One of the shorter tracks on the album. It's in the key of A major. It's 97 beats and 4/4 time. And the song arrangement is just verse, 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 verse. So 4 verses and then a jam. It has an introduction. It's arpeggiated guitar with echo or reverb, about 11 seconds long. Just a real short do, 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 kind of thing. And then the verse, I Can't Breathe Anymore. Why that is, I'm not sure. It's a 8-bar verse. And then those verses are all kind of the same. He's just singing about how he can't breathe, really. The jam is a minute and 36 seconds to, I don't think it's to the end, but it's a dun 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 dun. That's how the jam starts. It's a 24 bar, then it fades over 8 bars. Well, I guess it is to the end of the song. So it's a nice combination of hammer squealing, hammer David Gilmour guitar solo, like hammering type of action that he does on his songs. And that's the final song on the album, and that's the end of the album. So that's David Gilmour. There he is. Yeah. I wonder what this building is. If that's where they were staying, or that's where they were recording it. But definitely looks like winter, and because I would guess that's snow on the ground. Let's get into the big summary. The sales, it went gold in the United States. So all I could find for reported sales was 550,000 for total sales. I don't know if it's more than that. It could be more than that by now. The charts, it went to 17 in the UK, 14 in Australia, 17 in Germany, 80 in Italy. That's not very good. 22 in New Zealand, 21 in Sweden, and number 29 in the US. So it charted. Progarchives.com gives it a 3.56 out of 410 ratings. That seems about right to me. 46% give it 4 stars. Only 16% give it a 5 stars. I agree with that. I don't think it's a 5-star album. It's good. I like it. If you're expecting 70s Pink Floyd magic, then you won't find it here. But it's a good listen. I like it. I've always liked it. Allmusic.com gives it 2.5 stars. That's rough. I think that's too low. The review by Ned Raggett, I think is how you say it. Quote, isn't a deathless collection of music in comparison to Gilmour's Group Heights, but is reasonably pleasant listen nonetheless, unquote. I think that's what, I think it's not fair to compare it to Pink Floyd albums because that's not what it is, and that's not what he's going for. I mean, he inevitably sounds like Pink Floyd, but he's not trying to make a Pink Floyd record. And if you go like read YouTube comments on David Gilmour videos or Pink Floyd videos or whatever, you'll find that people can't separate the David Gilmour from the Pink Floyd, but I can. I can because I think it's different. And I like both of them. That doesn't mean I don't like it or I like it more. I like what I like, but I like this. And I don't think it's a Pink Floyd record. I'm not confused about it in one bit. But it does sound Floydian, but to me it sounds like a David Gilmour record. And I don't know how else to describe it. I think all of his records kind of sound similar, although there is some deviation, and I'll point that out when I do the other reviews as I go along. This one's like I said at the beginning, it's a little harder rock. It's trying to be a little bit more proggy, but David is what he is, and for the most part, what you get in a David Gilmour record is a David Gilmour record. I don't know how else to describe it. Rolling Stone. Now I couldn't find it, but there's an article on rollingstone.com written by someone named Paul Fitzgerald, December 27th, 2024. He briefly mentions the songs Mihalis, There's No Way Out of Here, and Short and Sweet. It seemed like something Rolling Stone was covering because David Gilmour was out doing the Lookin' Strange tour. Maybe that's what it was. I couldn't find like a rollingstone.com a write-up of this album from 78 or the 70s, or even something after that, but maybe they just missed the boat. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't on their radar, or not big enough, or not worth their interest. But that's it. I tried to do a fair review, and I always try to do a fair review, really, on all these album reviews. But like I said, on some of them, I've been listening to these for a long time, and others I haven't, and I'm sure that probably has some sway in how I do the review or not, but I try to be more factual about it and stick with the facts. What am I hearing, and what does it sound like, and what do I like about it, and what do I don't, and that's I'll try to keep it at that. Okay, that's it. I've talked enough. Next up on the channel will be Nursery Crime, and then after that will be Kiss, Gene Simmons, and I've got a whole plan for the next 15 albums, and then I want to eventually do a Korn review, and there's a new Steven Wilson album out, so I don't think I'll do that review. I'll probably hang on to that for a while. In fact, I never even did the last one, so I'll probably hang on to them. But that's it. If you like the video, could you hit like, please? And if you have a comment, you could leave a comment, and I'll answer. Or if you have a question, or you think I got something wrong, please point it out in the comments, because I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, and if you catch one, you should call me out for it, right? And I'll acknowledge it. And subscribe, please, if you like the videos. All right, that's it. I'm out.